So, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for the late entrance there. We couldn't get it to connect. The internet's been terrible today. I don't know what's going on with the internet. Let me put the microphone there. So, right, this is your weekly update number 94. What have we got for you today? An awful lot at the moment going on. We've got visa updates, renewals updates, some questions from the week. Jane says, 2 or 3 news items actually which have come in this week that people have drawn my attention to. Lots of out and about in Spain, a bit about food, very controversial thing about food, and we're basically going to tell you what's been happening for the last 6 days in our world. So this is your weekly update number 94. Now, where are we? Tell you where we are. We haven't got coffee. I need a coffee. I didn't think. Just jumped on and I was like, oh, I didn't do the coffee, but never mind. Let's. We've got 17 people on already, so let's go on to the chat and say hello to who's on. Donald, buenas tardes, Chris, and everyone else. How you doing there, Donald? Hope you're enjoying life on the Costa Tropical. Hi, Chris and T. Hey, Neil. How you doing? We've got Stephen Pauling on. How you doing, guys? Excited, I bet. Alexander, even all. Neil, the Marina to Alicante to collect the TIE cards, all done in just under 2 hours. Excellent, guys. Well done. And it seems 5 minutes since we were getting the visa process started. Kev, how you doing? You're coming up with a fantastic review. Thank you so much for that review you put on. That's amazing. I'm going to read that out in a bit. Paul's on. Paul Cook, good evening. And Trudy, cold and miserable UK. It's a little bit chilly here, but I can't say it's miserable. I love this time of year. You know, those long shadows, you know, when the sun sits low in the morning and in the evening and you get those long September shadows, as I call them, even though it's nearly December. But yeah, it's great. And Andy, hello, for Andy Sham. Hope you're well. Looking forward to your show. Thank you very much, guys. Right, and so let's get started. Which is the name of the first email that you'll get when you start your NLV process with us, which whenever you know. I'm going to just adjust the camera a bit there. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to Diane and Stuart from West Yorkshire. I spoke to them today. We're going to get cracking very early 2026. Some great plans. They're looking to go to the island of Lanzarote, and I just wanted to give them a shout out straight away because I said I would. And yeah, it's great chat. The only problem is with me, when I get chatting on my discovery calls, I tend to go on a bit. I don't realize what I've got another call now in 20 minutes. So my calls end up a little bit late because I waffle on if you didn't realize. Now, first thing I wanted to talk about was getting pet passports. Okay, so I know if you're bringing a pet over here or something like that, that you have to get all your pet passports before you come, get that sorted, the vaccinations and everything like that. But what happens when you're here? Now, I'm having my first dog experience in terms of being an owner. Never had dogs. I'm 47 years old now. Never had dogs my whole life, and it was time to get dogs for our kids. My daughter's been absolutely dying for a dog for ever since she was born, and so we've ended up getting 2. And I went to get the passports the other day, and you know what? It was relatively easy. Now in Spain, this is how it works out. Now I've got the bill here as well. I've got the bill. There's 3. You obviously have to have the 3 vaccinations. Now, for those of you, which is probably about, I'd say 70% of our listeners who are doggy people, you probably know more about this than me. But as I'm a novice at all this, I wanted to tell you my experience. So we got the dogs. They're basically from a barn on the side of the mountain in Granada. Who knows what race they are? They could be a mixture of anything. They're very strong. They're going to be very big. We know that much. And there's a bit of Belgian Shepherd in them. We know that much. Basically, we had no paperwork at all from them. And I thought that was initially going to be a problem because I thought you can't just turn up at the vets with a random dog and whatever. But we did. Turned up with 2 random dogs. So we got these from the side of a mountain of some guy who was really nice and saved them, but wasn't obviously nothing else. Now, like, okay, then right, so we need to get them identified. We need to get the vaccinations done and get them registered. So first we did the registration at the vets, and their first vaccination which they had was about €40. And this is a 3-stage vaccination process before you can actually let them walk around with other dogs. And then the second one is when you get the chip, the passport, and 2 different vaccinations, which is against something. I don't know. Right. And then, and the whole thing, so far we were €40 in for the first vaccination. Now the passports, the 2 chips, and which the vaccinations all come here in the back as well. You get your stamp stickers, and you get, I don't know, the name. There you go. Name, date of birth, everything. You put your photograph there once you get the photograph. And it says, oh, color, fuego, fire color. That's nice, isn't it? And obviously you got the passport number. So 44 pages. I don't know what you need 44 pages for. If you're, oh, there we go. More vaccinations there. I've had loads. So we've got these. So that means they're legal now, and they can travel. Not that we're going to be taking them abroad. And you get this identification thing. This goes with your chip. Now it's very, very important. Okay, very important. I'm just going to move the camera, so I've got a bit of flickering on here. Hang on, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Guille, ¿te importa si pagamos la luz? Pero no, que no. Oh, that's not worked then now, is it? Oh, there you go. We're back on. There we go. Perfect. So you've got a shiny head, but no flickering. Just make sure that if you've had a previous registration with the vet, as we had done with our old cat, okay, they pulled up my details there and they had the wrong address. So when we went into it, and unfortunately, I didn't notice it until they gave me the piece of paper, and I went, oh, wait a minute, that's the wrong address. And it's like the chip information. They were like, yeah. I was like, oh, you're going to have to update that. I thought they'd updated it on the system and they hadn't. But anyway, pet passport. So it was €140 to get the chip, the passports, and the second vaccine. €40 the first one. So we're about €180 deep at the moment. And I think the next one she said was about €40, which would put us at €220. And I don't think that's very bad for 2 dogs, okay, who were rescued from the side of the mountain. So there you go. Okay, then what else have we got going on? That was your pet passports. Building up for Christmas. So now we are breaking up for, so I'd give you the Christmas build up, and we're going to go on about it a little bit. So we will be breaking up. Essentially, Friday the 19th is the last day the office is open. No, 22 and 23. We will be working, winding everything down, making sure everything's ready for the week that we are off. The Christmas Eve, we're not working, and we're off all the way up to the Friday the 2nd, where I will be coming in and preparing for the new year. This doesn't mean that we're not going to be attending our clients. It means that we're not going to be making any submissions. There won't be anybody going to the BLS office. We won't be doing any appointments in the police stations. And the reason being, and the reason why we have this complete shutdown, is we will be checking emails for emergencies, and everything else will be answered after the new year when we come back. So the Friday the 2nd, I'll be in warming up, and then the 5th we kick off with a load of appointments again. The reason being, because other Christmases we have actually worked. Now, one thing is that anybody who works has to have holidays as well. So, Christmas is always a disaster. The translators are all off, whether that be the translators who are translating documents in the UK or in Spain. Our translators on the ground generally like to have a break, so they don't want to work between Christmas and New Year and go to the appointments. You find that if there's a problem at an appointment, they can't deal with it there and then. You just get referred to the New Year anyway. If you make an application and they come back and ask you for something, you can't always ask for it, get it straight away, and you only get a certain amount of days to respond. The guys in the UK do the apostilles. Everybody's on holiday, so we just can't beat them, join them. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. And I think there's only like 18 work days left until Christmas. Who can believe it? So there we go. And another question, I did say that because someone asked me about the Christmas shutdown. But if you're a client of ours, don't worry, we are checking emails for emergencies. So don't worry about that. But if it's not an emergency, then we'll get back to you in the new year and crack on. And the other question was about Friday calls. Now, this is from me. Now, I generally, where I can, don't take calls on a Friday. My whole calendar's blocked out on a Friday. And I don't take calls and I don't make calls on a Friday unless absolutely necessary if someone needs one because they can't do it any other time. And the reason that is because, to be honest with you, you're just not going to get the best Chris on a Friday. You know, you get to the end of the week and you're so your head with all you're doing with visas and everything and talking to people, you're very much focused on getting things wrapped up for the weekend and then coming into the week strong the following week. And I noticed when I was doing a few discovery calls on a Friday and also talking to clients, I was like, I put the phone down. I'm like, you know, I didn't really sound like I should do with somebody who is maybe planning the rest of their life, you know, to come to Spain, because it's also our job in what we do to be enthused. You know, it's difficult. You guys who are moving over, this is the biggest operation of your life. And, you know, you don't want to get somebody at the end of the week knackered going, yeah, it'll be all right. Yeah, you qualify. See you later. Yeah, type thing. So ever since I got a couple of calls about a while ago, probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and I went, that wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough. You know, not in terms of would it install people with confidence. You know, I get excited when I'm talking to people about moving over because I still love Spain. Always have done, more than ever. 25 years living here. So when we do have a discovery call, we talk to a client, I want you to get the best you can from myself or from Jane, whoever's on the phone. So that's why I stopped Friday calls. I mean, you know, it's not you're tired, you're looking at the weekend, you're wrapping up the week, you're slightly more distracted, and you're just not going to get the best call. And I think that you deserve it. So definitely will make the calls if it's absolutely needed, but if not, I avoid them like the plague. Don't do calls on a Friday. What else have we got here? Medical certificates. And please, if you've got any questions or any comments, stick them below. Something came in about medical certificates. Now, we've had a problem. We always have a problem. Medical certificates for NLV applications. If you're applying for an NLV, this is nothing to do with the medical insurance. This is to do with a medical certificate which you need, which basically proves you've got no exportable diseases. In my opinion, it's ridiculous. This is an antiquated document from when, if that's a word, antiquated, don't know, from many years ago when people were coming from slightly more tropical environments where they quite possibly immigrated to Spain or came from those environments and brought diseases with them, and you had to sign to say you didn't have any, which is pretty crazy anyway, because they last for 3 months, the certificates, which means you could have gone to the clinic, been proved you haven't got any exportable diseases, gone and caught one on the way out and brought it to Spain. So for me, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, something that has to be done. Now, NHS doctors, your local GP, a lot of the time, I'd say 50% of the time, we get these certificates which have specific wording from GPs, from people's GPs. They get rejected at the apostille stage. And this was highlighted this week when a client of ours got back to me and said, yes, but you said the certificates were correct. And they were correct. One second. Let me just turn my whatever's going off. There we go. They were correct. The wording was correct. The doctor's registration was correct. The signature was correct. But they got sent to the apostille people, the FCDO, and they got rejected. Okay, so why did they get rejected? They got rejected because the doctor had not registered their certificate with the UK government FCDO. Sorry, their signature. They hadn't registered their signature. So if you've got a doctor who's never had to have a document legalized or apostilled, then they would not have their signature registered. So you need to find a doctor not only who is registered and will sign the certificate, but also has their certificate registered with the FCDO. Hence why most people use private doctors who do these certificates a lot. They've made a business out of doing these certificates because we know that their signature is registered. So there we go. Right then. What else is happening? Let's have a look here. I've put a load of stuff to the side and I haven't labeled any of it. So I'm just going to put it up. Here we go. Oh, thank you, David. I don't know if you're on the live today, but they gave us a 5-star review. They get it right every time. They are with you every step of the way. The team are excellent. They understand your needs. They have guided us throughout our journey, which could not have been done without them. Their knowledge is exceptional, excellent in every way. I would highly recommend them to everybody. Cheers, David. Thanks for that. That is very much appreciated. We're getting up to nearly 200 5-star reviews on Google. So let's just see where we are now, because I know we had one in today as well. We're there. Sorry, 201 reviews. Woohoo! That's fantastic. We're over the moon at that. 201 5-star reviews. And we did get one star review from a gentleman who was dealing with one of our clients because they sold him a car, contacted me. And then because I couldn't provide the documents that they needed, because I can't just give anybody documents willy-nilly because they say they know somebody who's our client, gave us a 1-star review. But I had it removed. Yvonne and Barry Kennedy, thank you for buying us a coffee. Much appreciated. If you do want to buy us a coffee, or then you can do it. I don't know. How do you do it? Oh, here we go. Using the QR code up here, you can buy me a coffee. Whether we spend it on coffee, we don't know. We could spend it on something else. Jane's partial to McDonald's. I don't mind the chicken wings. And we've got here Alan. Thank you, Alan. A big thank you to Chris and team at Upsticks. We've now completed the process for our NLV of our first year. Looking forward to our first Christmas in Spain with family. Highly recommend Upsticks to anyone come to Spain, and look forward to working with you for our renewals. Cheers, Alan. Thanks for that. And Paul wrote on our Facebook, hi, Chris and T. We just wanted to say a huge thank you for all your help and advice in getting us through the NLV process. And now we have our TIE cards. Well done, guys. Without the guidance, it would have been far more difficult process for us to do. We recommend Upsticks for anyone for the 5-star service you provide, and look forward to working with you for our years 2 and 3. Cheers, guys. Thanks for that. Gary sent me this in. Gary, there you go. On over there in Almeria. Well done. Got your TIE card now. Congratulations on starting your new life over there in Almeria in time for Christmas. And what's this here then? Oh, here we go. We've got a lovely review. You have to excuse me. I can't shake this cold. I'm coughing all over you. This is from Steve. And Steve gave us a fantastic review. Said we used Upsticks for the first time to handle the renewal of our TAs. They made the whole process simple, uncomplicated, and so easy. That from the very start to everything was explained, with the step-by-step guide sent by email. They fill out the forms, pay the fee due to the bank, arrange appointments, and meet you at the National Police Station. And once inside, there was a short wait before going to the desk to finalise our application by getting fingerprints taken and sign application. That's it. Minimal involvement, part of getting our photos done and attending our first appointment. The next step is to get our new cards, where we'll be met once again by one of the Upsticks representatives in around 4 weeks. I would like to give you, it's actually more than 4 weeks because the appointments jumped. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, actually, guys. I would like to give you a special mention to Christina from Upsticks, who met and accompanied us at the police station with friendly, courteous, and very professional. Made us feel at ease and minimal involvement from our part. Finally, I would not hesitate to recommend Upsticks. They are not only very professional, their pricing is very, very reasonable. Thanks, Steve. So that was a withdrawal agreement renewal. We're up to nearly 250 withdrawal agreement renewals that we've done so far. really, really happy how they're going, as there was all that uncertainty at the beginning of the year. I will have to do an updated video on them actually. But yeah, really happy how the withdrawal agreement renewals are going. But we did have a problem the other day. So when booking appointments, so everybody end of October, imagine beginning of November, waiting for the TIE cards to drop in. Malaga are publishing pickup appointments. This happens a lot this time of the year for the end of November, beginning of December, but we can't book them because we haven't got the notification that the lottie is in yet. The lottie is the number which is associated to your order. So let's call it, when you go in, you get your TIE card, you get a document called a resguardo. That resguardo is like a receipt of your TIE card, reflects all the details. It's going to be on your TIE card. It's basically like a paper TIE. But that document has an LOTE number, and that is the batch under which your card has been made or will be made. You have to check that number to go and pick up your card, which often involves booking another appointment. So the TIE process is 2 appointments, 2 visits. Now, we were checking on Malaga. Yeah, no worries. We've got the list there every day. Jump on. There's only a maximum of 5 per phone number that you can book, but luckily we have multiple booking phones, and 2 more over there and 2 more over there, and people in our team at the A team in Alicante, Murcia, who help us. And they weren't running in sync with the lotties which were there, so we had to wait. And then this happens all the time around Christmas. What happens? Boom, jump on, no appointments this year. On to January. And we're like, well, what's going on? Which means people are now waiting 60 days or even some cases longer for their pickup, even though we know the cars are going to be there earlier. There's no appointments available. They've shut them out. So they've literally gone from end of November, a couple of days in December, January. So that happens a lot this time of year. So what's the problem? Well, you could say, hang on a minute. Normally, Malaga have last-minute pickup appointments. But if you book one in for somebody and then they have last-minute pickup appointments, which might be for the next day or the following day, okay, if you cancel that booked one, you book the new one, they get hold of the client that can't make it, or you cancel it, go back in, that appointment's already gone, you can't rebook, which means you'd have to rebook for the January, which make it further back. So belts and braces, we booked everybody into January, had to apologize to say, look, guys, you can't pick up your cards yet. It's going to be January. Nothing we could do about it. But that's just how it goes in December, I'm afraid. So what else have we got? Kev, who's on? Thank you, Kev. Much appreciated for your review. I'm going to read it out for myself. My wife and my brother came to Spain in 2024. Upsticks was our service of choice for all things visa. Do you remember when we saw each other there in Matheron for the first time? The experience was incredible. Do you know when that was? That was when Sean was doing a live with me, wasn't it? There, Sean Expat in Matheron, great channel. The experience was incredible, turning what could be very stressful and seemingly uncertain and potentially lengthy process into simple, logical, linear process with one visa getting a pushback. Upsticks were there to own the problem and get it resolved. We just, do you remember that? Not original, I think that was non-original healthcare documents or something, wasn't it? And we had a series of couriers and something. We got it sorted out quick. We have just completed our first renewal with Upsticks. Again, invaluable assistance. We hardly noticed we were doing it, as well as the normal advice for preparation assistance and getting everything translated and apostilled. We were especially grateful not to have to sit in front of a computer for 4 days or weeks pressing F5 to find an appointment to register our renewals at the police station. I kid you not, those appointments are like rocking horse poo to find. Ask anyone who has tried. That is very, very true, I can tell you. We do work, half of our job is booking appointments, I can tell you. In our view, the whole team at Upsticks offer a 5-star service. Their unrivaled experience and attention to detail takes all the stress and uncertainty out of the visa process. When you get to the desk to face a BLS agent or the immigration office in Spain with an Upsticks representative by your side to handle the language and other difficulties, you absolutely know you are prepared as you can be for success. Couldn't rate a service of value for money higher. That make that call and have a no obligation chat about your desires and personal circumstances, where with everything else to deal with when immigrating, this visa process probably the thing that will give you the most stress, especially on initial application. Let's face it, like us, will have zero experience of how to handle it, especially when you get an objection and the very short time to fix it for your expensive application expires and you lose your fee. Cheers, guys. That's lovely. Thanks for the review. It has been amazing working with you, but I have to say, Kev and family, I can thank you because your document quality has been amazing, which we're going to talk about that a bit later on. And it makes our job so much easier. Your response time was amazing, and you also gave us what we needed when we needed it, and that makes our job easier as well. So thank you to you guys for stepping up as well and working together with us, because at the end of the day we work together with our clients, and that's what makes it successful. And there we are, Terry and Kev. I hope that's not a beer. Is that not? That's not a Cruz Campo, is it there, Kev? Oh no, it's a Coca-Cola. There we go. Thank goodness for that. You can't be drinking Cruz Campo at the police station. Well done, guys. And Stephen Pauline, you thought I'd forgotten. Congratulations on your visas. Nice one. Well done, and thank you so much for sending the photo across. And we're still on the residency section, so we have to steam through everything because I've got so much to tell you about here. So visas in. What have we got here for visas in? Manchester Las Palmas, 12 weeks and 2 days. Manchester, 12 weeks and 2 days. Brilliant. Manchester Murcia, 12 weeks. We're getting better. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? It's a disaster. Here we go. Steve and Pauline, you've just seen. 9 weeks and 1 day from Manchester. That's a record breaker so far, I think, this year for Manchester. And another 2, Manchester to Tenerife. So that's 8 visas out from Manchester this week. So we're rocking and rolling with Manchester. Renewals information. We had a renewal submitted right on the cusp. It was just as the TIE card was expiring. You can expect it to be up to 3 months. Malaga, 2 weeks. There has to be said, if you're using savings or passive income, having it go into a Spanish high street account and getting the documents stamped from a Spanish high street account definitely makes your renewal a lot easier. Sorry, but it does. Now, most people I know, there's a lot of controversy out there about after the new laws, can you use overseas assets? Do you have to have your money in Spain? Some people will say, yes, you have to have your money in Spain. Other people will say no. Now, I can categorically tell you don't, because we've got many approvals over the line, including one today, which was out in 10 weeks from savings in a Santander account in a UK, where we translated just one statement, believe it or not, right at the beginning, and then added the rest and wrote a letter to explain that the rest was exactly the same. So there was no point in translating the rest, which they accepted. We did warn the client, though, they could come back and ask for translations of the whole 12 months. But if you really want it to go smoothly, and this is why a lot of people who do renewals insist the money's in Spain, is because the only real guaranteed way to get it over the line the first time is by having your funds in a Spanish account and having your passive recurring income going into that account. Okay. Yes, you can use accounts abroad. We've done it, but we've been asked for things like apostille documents, which you've had to do, expensive translations and stuff like that. So if keeping them abroad is going to generate, more interest, and that compensates all you're going to have to spend on translations, apostilles, and the stress of it all, then fair enough. If you could bring your money into Spain, park it for your renewal, maybe leave the rest of your savings in the UK to earn money off that, I don't know. But all I can categorically say is that the files that we get back quickly from immigration on renewals are the people who've got their funds in Spain. So there you go. What else did we have here? So now I'm coughing. It's submitted. Yes, this was one. A renewal from Alicante was a passport stamp missing. We got a notification from immigration. We need you to prove the movement, and we submitted every piece of proof that we could get. So the boarding pass, the booking, there was actually a parking a receipt as well, factura, all with the client's name on it, and that was accepted as proof of the person entering the Schengen zone, and they got their renewal as well, which is great, because then once you get your renewal and you know it's been accepted as that date, that will be when you come to do your 5-year permanent, you know that they've already accepted documentation which proves that date. We've also got here a report from Neil and Sue about the entry exit system. Sue's just back from a few days in Wales, didn't have any problems with the new border control. In fact, when going out and back, they have up-to-date TIEs, by the way, just on their renewals. When going out and back, Alicante, there was a separate line for TIE holders with no queue. She was waved on and got right to the front, passing all the passport queues. So there you go. That's in from Alicante. Separate line for TIE holders, no queue. She was waved on and got right to the front, passing all the passport queues. So there we go. All right, and so shall we we're rambling on, shall we go back onto the chat, see who's about? Here we go. And Cares, how you doing, guys? Hola from a very cold France. We were nice and cozy but we're nice and cozy in front of the fire. I'm having my fire cleaned. We had some wood delivered to our new house. I'm over the moon, ecstatic that we've bought a property for the family. It's sort of our dream little family home. There's a lot of painting, doing up needs to be done. But we have got a fireplace. But when the wood guy came, he was like, I got the fire cranked up. I'm going, yeah, brilliant. Let's get the fire cranked up. He went, have you cleaned this chimney? I was like, no. Why would I clean the chimney? He was like, well, and you're going to crank up the fire? I'm like, yeah. And this is a good bit of advice for anybody who buys a house. So you're cranking up a fire and you're burning up a chimney that you have no history about. You don't know what anybody's burnt in that fire. You don't know. And I'm like, no, why? So that chimney could just set on fire and set your old house on fire. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And he was like, yep. So he gave me the name of a chimney sweep who is coming tomorrow. So when you buy a new house, it's got a fireplace, hold your horses, find a chimney sweep, get it cleaned, and then crack on and get yourselves warm. How you doing, Shrody? I came back through Almeria Airport on Thursday. We're all, no matter the status TIE or not, had to go through the fingerprint and iris screens, then the passport only machine, then via the policeman. I've actually got your comment to say as well, but now you're on here. That's fantastic. Cheers. Thanks for that. Yeah, it seems to be. We're getting an awful lot of emails now going to people. We're traveling. I'm going to do a video on it because people are emailing us saying we're traveling. Can you tell us what queue to stand in? I don't know. You know, we're going to report back what people are reporting back to us, and it seems to be different in every single airport. Okay, then. So should we go on to something else now? I don't think I had anything else for the residency. So let's go on to. Okay, and so Jane says today, discussion that I had with Jane in the office, and we decided we were going to use this. Jane, as you know, works heavily on the stage 2. So we have stage 1, which is getting the permission to get your residency in Spain. Stage 2 is when you come and actually register that and get your TIE card. We split it down the middle. We have stage 2, stage 1 management, and stage 2 management. And Jane generally does all of the stage 2 stuff with our translators and appointment specialists who are on the ground in Valencia, Alicante, Murcia, Malaga, Granada, and other areas. So one thing that you do when you're doing your stage 2 is you have to deal with an awful lot of documents, as you do with stage 1. And we have found and I've mentioned this before, all right, but I'm going to say it again, you guys are going to have to, whether you like it or not, organize a lot of documents. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about 2 things. One of the things is naming conventions, all right, and the other thing is the type of document to use, all right, and how you can get it right and make your journey earlier. And Kev who gave us the review is an expert at this, I know, because his documents were very pristine. Or was it Jan who did that? Now, we found because we have a naming convention because we use a drive system where we have to search for documents. But we've also found when submitting documents to either the subdelegation or sending this to people like town halls and stuff like that, that this naming convention really seems to work. And it's very simple. What we do is we have the naming convention means how you name your documents. So you have surname underscore, first name underscore, type of document. Okay. Now, what we do sometimes is go, if you've got an NIE number, we'll go to the extent of adding another underscore and put in the NIE number in the end. This seems to work. So it certainly works. The reason we used it was because it's very easy to search for documents on a Drive platform. So we're using Google Drive for Business. Just put in someone's surname and boom, all the documents come up because that's the first thing used in the naming convention. But I have noticed when using it on the Mercurio platform with the government, it works very well. When sending it to official bodies, it works very well. So if you want to make your life easier and you're storing documents on your computer as you're naming them, my advice would be to naming convention is surname, name, type of documents. It could be, Goodacre, Chris, Acro. And then if you can, put your NIE at the end of it. Or as we say, additional information. So it might be Goodacre, Chris, Padron, expires or issued or whatever at the end of it. That definitely works. And as for the type of documents, so you can save your documents in PNG, JPEG, every other format possible. But what really works and what is understood is PDFs. Everybody wants PDFs. The government system, when you upload stuff, if it's in PDF, it uploads it quickly, it accepts it. If it's in any other format, it doesn't. So we put everything in PDF, which is uploaded on the Mercurio system, albeit it does accept every other format as well. You seem to have problems. So PDF is the way forward, and they're also easier documents for you to shrink. Okay, so you can shrink them and compress them to send them by email, upload them to a drive to send a link. But that naming convention with PDF documents is definitely the way forward to make life easy for you with immigration. Needless to say, the quality now, we used to get away with loads. So people would send us photos and we'd crop them, PDF them, make sure they're okay, even change the exposure on the photo. That's just not accepted anymore. Immigration is so sticky when it comes to document quality. The best advice we can give you when you're sending us documents or doing it yourself or going anywhere is just go and get a scanner. Have a scanner in Spain, but a proper scanner for your documents. Even the phone scanners sometimes aren't that good. Okay, sometimes it has to be really good. Well, the iPhone tends to be quite good. But so if you can get properly scanned documents, I can tell you it's going to make your life easier in Spain. And it also makes people like us or anybody who's dealing with you, their life easier to knock it out a lot quicker for you, whatever we are doing. So there we go. That is our Jane Says today. And we'll just trace it on my pit view. I didn't get that. I think I'm missing that. Sorry. Here we go. Here, need official registered artisan clean chimney every year with official certificate. Oh, here, need an official registered artisan to clean chimney every year with official certificates. After, without the insurance invalidated in the event of any fire-related damage. 30-minute job, 50 or 60 euros. Okay, I've got quoted 95 euros for hours. Wow, so that's great. That's another very valid point. If your chimney does set on fire and you have no proof that it's been cleaned, would the insurance pay out? I believe not. P.S. That's also needed to buy and sell houses. Well, this wasn't, when I bought our house, that certainly wasn't needed. So that's very interesting. I wonder if it's a European rule. I wonder if Spain will bring that in. Hey, guys. Sujo and Waffles, you're on. No worries about being late. I was a little bit late myself, actually, a couple of minutes late. Go on the catch up. Hope you're well. And things are going. I think I've got your lemons on today. Did I show your lemons last week? Or they may be in the Spain section, your lemons, to be honest. I can't remember. That many notes now. Let's go on to something else, shall we? If I can find the graphic. I really feel like I need my coffee. I'm sorry. I'm not performing very well. Even the coffee machine's not working, guys. Let me just coffee machine's at it. Right then. So not many comments on YouTube. Not many comments. I pulled up a started to work. Okay. What do we have on YouTube then? Not many comments. Here we are. We have. Oh, here you go, Schroeder. Yeah, there you go. Just repeating what you said on the live chat. Thanks for that update on my return trip from Gatwick to Almeria. After saying I didn't have to have fingerprints and face scan on my way out due to residency on my return journey, no matter with the status, we all had to use the machines, check prints, face going through auto gates and showing passports to the police. All a bit of an overkill. And you shouldn't have had to do that with residency. So I don't understand what is going on at the airports. And how can you advise anybody what they're supposed to be doing? Now the coffee machine's not going to shut up now. There we go. I don't know. We need a coffee machine cleaner. And here we go. This is, oh, it's stopped now. Oh, no, that's the wrong comment again. See, it's all gone wrong. The coffee machine's put me off. Cartagena Murcia, thanks for this appointment. Out and about, thanks for this video. I have my TO appointment next week. Do you think I need an interpreter? I speak a little Spanish. Well, I mean, that's quite a difficult one to answer, isn't it? Because it's like someone, you know, saying, my car's broken. I know a little bit about mechanics. Do you think I should get a mechanic to look at it? Of course, I'm going to say, of course, you need an interpreter. That's our job. That's what we do. But no, look, if you're confident, if you've got your own appointment and you're confident, you know, then go yourself. Obviously, we provide interpreters for all of our clients, you know, so we don't like to send our clients on their own, especially for the first time registrations, because things are so overwhelming. You know, they really are. And these places generally tend to be quite intimidating. And if something does go wrong, and this is the main reason why we send an interpreter, is not really to get it over the line. Okay, because we know that if we send a client with a good file, we know this. Many companies do it. Most companies do it. Nobody sends somebody to the TIE appointment every time. Okay, even the big firms, a lot bigger than us, give people what they need, send them themselves. All right. Now I've got this obsession with sending a translator to every single TIE appointment, the TIE registration that I possibly can do. And it costs us an awful lot of money, I can tell you that as well. But the reason is because that's a moment to be celebrated, and that's your welcome into Spain. If it's your first time visa, that is your first experience with, quite possibly, apart from a padron, with the Spanish authorities. They are national police. They are the border guards. They're not all that nice. Most of them are nice. They're not all that nice. Okay. But the main reason is to qualify any objections, because you could go yourself, you just bumble through fingerprints, whatever, not really know what's going on. Someone hands you a resguardo, you walk off, get your card 30 days later. But if there is something, just the smallest thing wrong, all of our appointment specialists are taught to, when they walk away from an appointment, if it's unsuccessful, which could be for any reason, not our fault, it could be a problem on the computer or whatever, and it happens very rarely, say, I don't know, probably less than 5% of the people get their TIE cards resguardo straight away. But when you're at that appointment that doesn't go well because there's a problem with the computer, what you have to be able to qualify the objection, walk away with exactly how to fix that problem. Okay, that's why I send somebody to every single appointment. So there's no problem. We do the EU appointments. We had one 3 or 4 months ago. We took a client to an EU appointment in Fingerola, and he just kept saying no to this, no to that. Our translator, our specialist, walked away. I said, tell the clients, don't worry, we're going to book them another appointment and we'll get this over the line. It's not a problem. And afterwards, we had a meeting. What was the objection of the police? The objection was the bank account statements weren't this. The bank, I said, that's rubbish. Okay, we're going to book an appointment. So we qualified that objection. Let's book them into Malaga. I'm sorry, they're going to have to go to Malaga because we know for experience that's accepted in Malaga. Someone in Figueroa was a bit funny. Took them to Malaga, exactly the same file, got approved. So our appointment specialists are there to qualify objections and to help you, make you laugh and enjoy it. So do you need a translator? Well, in theory, you don't have to have one. Is it a good idea? I think so. A few stats for you. Our channel in the last 28 days, there was a bit of a peak when I did. I'm just going to check that coffee, guys. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. It's poured me a half mug. Oh, I'll have that. Oh, that's better. Now, your tea or coffee? Which do you prefer, tea or coffee? Let me know. This is decaf because it's this late at night, but tea or coffee, what's your pleasure? Our channel got 8,325 views the last 28 days. Bit of a spike there when I did the road trip. I haven't done that many videos lately. I did a video with Scats yesterday, actually, which I'll get out as soon as I can. Our Christmas sort of meal we've had already together, just the two of us. This year, I'm not having a big Christmas do for Upsticks. What I'm doing is getting out and sitting down with our collaborators, the people we work with, and having meals individually with everybody, just seeing everybody, catching up and planning for 2026. Last year, we didn't have a big meal. I normally do like a meal where we all get together. And I did last year, we didn't because I broke my arm and I wasn't in a very good way at all, in a lot of pain. We were struggling, just getting into work, getting home, getting everything done was a nightmare. Certainly didn't feel like the festivities. So this year I thought, it's going to be a good idea to have one-to-one catch-ups with people, plan 2026, what is happening in our collaborators world, find out and plan and go strong into the next year. But I'm really pleased with the viewing figures. Check out the geography. It's 25% Spain, 21% United Kingdom, 2% United States, and the rest, where's the other 50%? I have no clue. And our subs, we've got 5,170. Now, I'm going to set myself a target of the 1st of July for 6,000. Which is way above what we're getting on a monthly basis now. I get about 70 to 80 subs a month extra, which wouldn't put me there. So 1st of July, you heard it here first. That's my target for 6,000. Let's have a celebration when that happens. And last but not least, we've got, guys, if you're not subscribed and you're watching this for the first time, please hit the subscribe button because it helps the channel, and only 50% of people who watch this channel are subscribed, as you can see from that lovely graph there. And we're also going to put up here the book me a call if you're moving to Spain 2026, 2027, 2028 on an LV. Book a call here. We have actually blocked our calls now until January. I had to turn down 2 renewals today. Another guy who wanted help on the 30th because we were on holiday. Then they wanted a consultation call on a video call, and that's it now. We've got calls booked in, we've got our clients to look after, so we're already looking at the new year to start new things. So get your call booked. I'm afraid we've blocked out all of our new calls now, apart from the ones which are booked already, until the new year, guys. What's going on down here? Kev says our five is full of candles and lights coming out from the media wall at some stage, hopefully soon. Talking about media walls. I'll show you it soon because I've always wanted to do, and I did speak to Stu, Joe, and Waffles about this. I always wanted to do like food videos. I know it sounds crazy because I don't know a lot about food. I do know lots about food, but I don't know how to cook, but I don't know how to cook, not properly, not. And I've seen loads of YouTube. I'd love to learn how to cook properly, and talking about media walls has got me onto this. But I couldn't, because where we were living before we bought our house, I couldn't really record there, and I was a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, now I've got big plans for 2026, and I bought a fridge because we had to buy an American fridge. All right, which is and I don't really don't really buy a lot. I don't even buy t-shirts, as you can probably tell. But this time I bought a fridge which has got a screen on it. It's an AI fridge. So when I'm doing videos, I can have like the media behind, and it tells you the recipes and stuff like that. And it arrives tomorrow. I'm so excited. That's it's called an AI fridge. What? No coffee machine? All put rubbish on. I don't know what's going on with it. It's cream crackered. Kev says, interpreted all day for the first TIE. My point of entry stamp was in France, which caused quite a bit of discussion. There you go. Yeah, so it always helps to have someone there. Stu and Joe said we certainly needed Juliet Cartagena for our TIA appointment, as a couple of issues at the appointment, and we would have struggled as most of the discussions were in Spanish, understandably. Yeah, I say it's to be there to qualify the objections. Have a bloody beer, Chris. Well, it is like, okay. Malaga beer, is that okay? No, we could have beer when we're in the office, dear. God blimey. Who keeps beer in the fridge in the office? Terrible. Stick to the coffee. That is actually there from someone bought it for me, actually, and it's been there for a long time. We don't keep beer in the office. Love your constructive and helpful attitude, Chris. Looking forward to starting our NRV process in 2026. Cheers, guys. PR 5789. I'm in Matheron in the UK at the moment, thanks to my VPN. I need to get a handle on VPNs. I hope. Hey, Patrick, how you doing? Good to see you on. I hope that you reach 6,000 soon. I hope so. I know, Jen. I knew it was you, Jen, but I didn't like to say because I've been attaching people's YouTube handles, right, onto our CRM, our client management system. So I know who's who, and I start to recognize the little thumbnails as well. And I didn't like to say it because some people keep their name secret, don't they? So, yeah, thanks, Jen, for that. And Neil Baker says, "Snap, I'm in La Marina, but have VPN on. Cool. You probably don't know, but I am a 2-star Michelin chef. I used to make hot dogs and burgers for tire fitters. Well, there's got to be. I love food, as you might have told. I'm going to get back on the old running, and I'd love to learn a bit more, especially with the products we have here in Spain. I've got a little bit of space now where I can put stuff. So I'm always, when I was doing my road trip, I was like in Alicante, and I was trying to find the salt from there. Like the salt, I couldn't find any because they've got this. I don't know. Do they even use that salt for cooking? I don't know. But Torrevieja right next to the salt, and then I got the oil from Granada, but the first press, like bright green, and I'm thinking all these products to cook must be amazing. So prepare to be bored to death with cooking and not just my wild ramblings. Okay, then let's get on and talk about the news because time is running up. We're already nearly on an hour, and completely shut down my window with the news things on, but here we go. So that's the end of our YouTube. And are you supposed to make it this obvious when you don't know what you're doing on the system? I don't know. I just brought up one of the YouTube things, and I thought, well, that doesn't look like today's program, but it wasn't at 74. We're on 94. Okay, then. So a couple of bits I wanted to show you here. Check this out. A few things which have come up this week. So first things first, taking a vehicle out of the UK. Now I have a lot of questions, and we do have a a video on how long you can keep a vehicle in Spain for. But I did a very, really interesting question. Someone said, "What happens if I keep the vehicle in Spain and don't register it? I want to keep it in a barn. Basically, it's going to be statutory off-road notification. and I don't want to register it because it actually needs doing up before I'm able to register it. So what do we do? And they said, what happens then if I want to take it back to the UK and decide not to keep it here? Right. Well, the thing is, on the DVLA's website, you will see that you'll see that it actually is considered permanently exported if it's been in country for more than 12 months. So check out the link below. It can tell you more, but despite whatever you do in Spain, if you keep a vehicle here for more than 12 months, the DVLA will consider that vehicle permanently exported. And it's all explained on the link below. So there you go. There's that. What else did we have in the news feed? Mike Fisk sent me this. This is strange. This relates back to what we've just been talking about. And on Facebook, it says, oh, not a lot if you don't share the screen properly. There we go. This is from the Spanish Eye. Brits with TIE cards can join the EU passport queue, say police in Malaga, after Alicante insisted they are not exempt. It's one of those, isn't it? There's a whole article below which you can get through the link. Everybody's experience seems to be different at the moment. I'm struggling to tell people what they're supposed to do at airports. I really am. But keep what you can do to help everybody is keep telling us your experiences. They're like Jen did. Where are we? Oh yeah, and this was from this morning. I saw this. Have you guys seen this up in Murcia? I saw this. Picked this up this morning, and no, not the Black Friday things. Look, this the Santa Lucia Cartagena hospital was on fire this morning. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, I've got a. Oh, what's going on? There's an advert. Oh, there you go. Don't check the sources. There you go. Link below. But yeah, so there was a fire this morning at 7:15, and it looked pretty horrific, I have to say. So let us know. You guys are in Cartagena. If everybody, it looks like nobody was hurt. Always feel terrible for these things. Obviously, fires are bad anyway, but when it's in a hospital, I mean, the people who work in hospitals have a hard enough a job anyway, don't they? You know, let alone having a fire. So yeah, if anybody knows more about that, let us know. But hopefully, everybody got out okay from the fire. So the nurses, doctors, everybody works in the hospital. They have a hard enough time anyway. Don't need that. So much respect for people who work in hospital. I could never do a job like that. So yeah. Right, what else did we have the news? I think that was it for the news. Let's go on to food and drink. Now, a bit of a controversial item here for food and drink, which was brought up the other day, and I thought, okay, then. So we were out having some food and drink, a very nice tapas bar, and this was their fridge. So that's a lot of steak in there. Absolutely amazing aged steak. It's actually an aging fridge. So they bring the steak in, they age it there in that fridge, and while they're serving it to their lovely clients. And I love steak, so really I was looking at it thinking, oh, which one am I going to have? But then obviously a friend of mine said, well, that's all very well if you like steak and you don't mind seeing dead animals hung up in a fridge, you know, but imagine if you were a vegetarian or a vegan or somebody who just didn't want to see that. That is quite revolting. That could actually make somebody be sick, you know, physically sick. And there should be a warning outside. What's your opinion on it? I'm going to leave it there for you. Let me know. I actually didn't think about that, but when they brought it up, I thought, wow, you're absolutely right. You know, it's the same as, you know, anybody. Not people might not want to see blood. You know, there's this raw bare meat there. You know, should there be a warning outside if when you walk into a bar that's that type of fridge as soon as you go in? Let me know what you think on that. I'm going to leave that there. Now we're going to go to our out and about. Where's out and about? Here. And I am going to have to speed this up because new for 2026 as well. And this was also a suggestion for Stu and Joe, who are on, was about Spanish words or maybe having something to do with Spanish on there. And I've sort of been thinking about it, and I'm also kicking around the idea. I've got a bit of I've got half a book written, 60 pages about learning Spanish, which is it's not constructed the typical way of learning Spanish. It's more about the way that I sort of learn over 25 years and how I integrated into the community. Naturally, I've spent more time my life in Spain than I have done in the UK, and I've got a lot of that in there as well. And so we're going to start a funny word Spanish section. I'm just waiting for the graphics to come over to me because every week I sort of get I've got to say that on the update. There'll be a word like, but some of it might be rude. That's the only thing. I'm not too sure if I'm allowed to say it, but it's quite funny. Right. So I'm going to give you one example. So polvo, which means dust, okay, just means dust. And when you're learning Spanish and you hear things for the first time, you think, well, why in a social situation would that be funny? And there is a saying which is called throwing out the dust. And it means something completely different to what you think. So if you'd be interested in learning some of these really, really quite bizarre phrases, you're not going to learn any decent Spanish from me, but I'm going to get a new section about learning Spanish and all the funny things and things have occurred to me over the last 25 years. I've gone, really? Is that what it means? I'm going to get it out there in that section. So, yeah. And talking about Joe, I've got your lemons here. You can grow lemons in a pot. So I hope you and your family are okay. Just a couple of photos this week are 3 lemon trees that we have in pots. We have 51 lemons on the trees that are all now yellowing off. Wow, 51. So you look like you can grow lemons. So it looks like you can grow lemons in pots. We have lost some leaves, but the garden centre said they tend to shed leaves when stressed. So because of the drop in the temperature and a bit of rain, we have been a bit stressed. Tends to affect them when in pots more than planted directly in the ground. So hopefully we're cutting up our own lemons soon. Well done, guys, and check out these lemons on the trees. There we go. You having some lemonades or some gin and tonics? They look all right. They look ready to go now. Nice size as well. There we go. Wow. So you can grow lemons in pots over there in Matheron. So I'd get them. The longer you leave them on the tree, the longer they stay ripe. So stay fresh. So just take them one by one. And I did get a picture of a lemon from my tree, from our new tree, which I can't find now. Oh, there we go. No, can't find it. Oh well, I'll put it on next week's. Don't worry about it. Which I'm sure you're not. I still got 15 people on. Now, the best thing, this is from Trevor. Trevor over in Salabreña. I met them last week, and I did their TIE renewal with withdrawal agreement. We did their first card withdrawal agreement. Lovely clients, and they saw a fin whale out in the sea. And check this out. Out there in the Mediterranean, a fin whale. I don't know what a fin whale is, but that's what I think he said, a fin whale. Trevor, let me know if I'm wrong. Out there. And right out in the distance. So we did, and he said it's the second time he's seen one out there. So, here's the better photo. Check that out. And there was one actually, you can see the fin and everything. So out there, fin whale in the Med. Send me your Send me your wildlife photos. And also, he took this fantastic photo of a praying mantis, which he sent through to us, looking at you saying, hey, how you doing? Love a praying mantis. We used to get a lot of those, and chameleon where I used to live, believe it or not. And last but not least, Get Me to Spain channel, Sue and Neil. They sent me these photos in of Merida. Merida, still haven't been to Merida. Don't forget to sign up for their channel, Get Me to Spain. They're having some fantastic journeys around Spain. We did their visas, their renewal, and they're just now sharing what a lovely life they're having in Spain on their channel. And I have to say, I'm very, very jealous when I watch your videos of Merida, and you were all the way to Portugal. I watched your road trip video to Portugal, guys. That was fabulous. Merida looks absolutely lovely. Wow, look at that. It's got a lot of sights to see in Merida. Is that Roman? Let me know. But yeah, the old aqueduct there in Merida. So send me your Christmas photos. Only got 15 of you on now. Send me your Christmas photos. We're getting Christmassy next week. I might even start wearing my Christmas jumper. We're getting ready for the festive season. I'm going to have to shoot off now. Thank you so much. Going to jump back on the chat. And Jen says, glad to have my 2 or 3 years going on with Upsticks, especially given how busy you are. I went with an Irish friend to Almeria as her interpreter for our NLV, but it's the best to have a specialist. Yeah, you know, it's great to even moral support's always good. Mayberry has TV programs. It's going to be funny. I can't wait to do my first one. Palabra española divertida. Yeah, I'm going to have a few funny ones out there, I think. If you mean agarrar, don't say cover in Latin America. I could tell you now, Patrick, a funny story about this before I go. So, only Patrick will understand this, but we're going to explain. So, in Spain, agarrar, right, or coger, okay, which means to catch, to take, like tomar, but tomar is more when you tomar a coffee. Yes, estoy tomando café. Agarrar is when you get something, or coger, you grab it almost. Go to ChatGPT to do your translations. That's a Chris translation. It comes from the heart. So if you want to agarrar or coger something, here in Spain it'd be like, but you could say in Spain, coger el autobús. Okay. Or agarrar un palo. But in certain places in South America, agarrar y coger means something completely different. Okay. Let's just say it means to be intimate. All right. So, quite rightly pointed out there by Patrick, when I went to Argentina in 2003, I was so pleased with my Spanish. I'd been learning Spanish for 3 years. There was no Google Translate or anything back then. I had my little book, which I still have. Well, my social group was already Spanish. I'd been working in Spanish, and after 3 years, I considered myself reasonably fluent, and I understood an awful lot. But what I didn't know was when I went to Argentina, you should never tell people that you're going to coger el autobús. So I told everybody I was going to go and be intimate with a bus because it meant something completely different. I had to say, and when I started saying, well, when I was trying to practice my Spanish, I was like, the first time I asked somebody, where do we get the bus from? Which is, ¿Dónde cogemos el autobús? They just fell about laughing on the floor at me. And I didn't understand why. It's only when I met my mate, Mauricio, who's still one of my best mates, lives in Barcelona actually, who said, Chris, you don't say that here in Argentina. And Kez, bring it on, as we found out through our French friends, there would be no French jokes without innuendo. Yeah, there's over here. Okay, we'll do that. The fun bus. Yeah, it was the fun bus. Let's see. Oh dear. I have made my mistakes, but you do it all the time. It doesn't matter. 25 years, I still make mistakes. And the fun thing is learning. The fun thing is the journey. And when you move to a foreign country, that journey never ends. You will always learn something new, whether it's you're supposed to sweep your chimney, whether it's a new word. I can tell you now, after 25 years, every single day I come across something new and exciting, and that's why we move over here, don't we? It's our second language, you know, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. Right, guys, I've got to go. Children to pick up and all of that business, and gonna get ready for tomorrow. Early start tomorrow. Business first in the morning. Our business networking group, 8:30. Lacala Golf. It takes an hour to get there. Then it's back down to see our IT guy James, who's going to have a catch up with him. That's our Christmas catch up. See how things are going. See how we're going to develop the website next year. Then it's over to Malaga Hospitals for my son to have his thing finally cut off, and then back into the office for tomorrow it'll be a 12 till 8 shift to get the visa work done. Cheers, guys. I will see you all. Adios a todos. Next Wednesday at 6 o'clock Spanish time and 5 o'clock UK time.